Quote Retreat by Sandor. One quote, one reflection, one thought that could bring a moment of light and energy to your day. Join me as we take a look at today's quote. The quote is by Aristotle. Born 384 before Christ, died 322 before Christ. It reads, "He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader." Let's take a moment together to explore the messages within this quote. Leadership, we are told, it's about being bold, taking charge, and blazing trails. But what if the greatest leaders in history learned their most valuable lessons by following first?
That's really interesting timing, because I was just thinking about how modern business culture seems obsessed with leadership without understanding what makes leaders truly effective.
You know what's fascinating? I've been studying this quote from Aristotle. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. And here's the kicker. This wasn't just theoretical wisdom. He was actually Alexander the Great's teacher, watching firsthand as a young prince learn to lead an empire.
That's such a powerful connection. So he wasn't just philosophizing, he was actively shaping one of history's most influential leaders?
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how Aristotle approached this. Born in 384 BC, he spent years studying under Plato before even thinking about teaching others. He believed in this deep immersion in learning before leading. Something we seem to have forgotten in our fake it till you make it culture.
You know what this reminds me of? In traditional apprenticeship systems, you'd spend years just watching and learning before you were allowed to practice independently. There was this understanding that mastery requires patience.
That's exactly right. And Aristotle took this approach in his own school, the Lyceum. He didn't just lecture, he encouraged his students to observe, question, and understand before forming conclusions. It was revolutionary for its time, and honestly, it still feels revolutionary today.
Well, that makes me think about modern leadership development programs. We often try to rush people through these quick fix courses, but are we missing something fundamental?
Oh, you're onto something big there. Look at how Aristotle structured his teaching. It wasn't just about leadership theory. He taught everything from ethics to biology to politics, because he understood that good leadership requires a comprehensive understanding of how systems work together.
That's fascinating. So it wasn't just about learning to give orders, but about developing this deeper wisdom about how everything connects?
Right? And here's what's wild. Aristotle's approach was actually pretty radical for his time. In an era of hereditary leadership and divine right, he was basically saying, hey, you need to earn this through experience and understanding. That was pretty revolutionary in 384 BC.
So if we applied this thinking today, what would it mean for how we develop leaders in organizations?
Well, I think it would mean completely reimagining our approach. Instead of fast-tracking people into management positions, we might focus more on creating opportunities for them to experience different roles, understand various perspectives, and really learn from being in supporting positions.
That makes me think about my own experience in rock climbing. My instructor made me spend months as a belayer before I could lead climb. And at first, I was frustrated. But now I see how that experience made me a much better climber overall.
You know what's interesting about your climbing example? It perfectly illustrates what Aristotle was talking about. When you're belaying, you're literally holding someone's life in your hands. Talk about learning responsibility. And you're learning to read situations, anticipate needs, and understand the whole system of climbing.
That's so true. And looking back, those months of being a follower taught me more about leadership than any formal training could have.
And that's exactly what made Aristotle's teaching so effective. He understood that leadership isn't just about being in charge, it's about having the wisdom that comes from experience, including the experience of being led. It's why his ideas have endured for over 2 millennia.
Well, that really challenges our current obsession with rapid advancement and disruption, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And here's what I find most relevant about Aristotle's approach today. His emphasis on understanding systems as a whole. He wouldn't just study individual parts in isolation. He looked at how everything connected. That's exactly the kind of thinking we need in modern leaders.
That's particularly crucial in today's interconnected world, where decisions can have such far-reaching consequences.
Looking ahead, I think we're going to see a shift back to these principles. As our challenges become more complex, we'll need leaders who truly understand the value of having been good followers first. Leaders who've developed the deep wisdom Aristotle talked about.
That's really hopeful and humbling at the same time. It reminds us that everyone, even the greatest leaders in history, started as followers first.
And maybe that's the most powerful lesson here. That true leadership isn't about skipping steps or racing to the top. It's about building a foundation of understanding that can only come from being willing to follow, learn, and grow fast. With that, we conclude this exciting episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you again tomorrow. Yours, Sandor.